I'm Andrew, and welcome back to Custom Cards, where we teach you to make your own Magic the Gathering cards. Today we're going to take a break from designing our Norse-themed set. Instead, I'm going to take a look at some cards other people have designed. Every week on the Magic subreddit, there's a post showcasing some of the best custom designs from the last week. I'm going to take a look at this week's submissions and give you my thoughts. First off, we have a couple of honorable mentions. AlchemyPhilosopher is a 0-2 for blue-green. That should actually be in green-blue order. And it sacrifices a food to create a treasure, or it can sacrifice a treasure to create a clue, or it can sacrifice a clue to create a food. So it takes the three main artifact tokens in Magic and turns them into each other. Foods were focused in black-green, and treasure in blue-black-red in Ixalan, and clues in green-blue back in Shadows over Innistrad. So green-blue definitely seems like the right colors here. I struggle to find a use for it because all of these tokens come with both the ability to create them and the ability to use them. Our other honorable mention is Wham the Swimmer. It's a 2-2 for 1 island walk that doesn't untap during your untap step. When it does become untapped, you get a +1/+1 counter, and you remove a +1 counter from Wham to draw a card. Well, any counter. So first of all, there's just a lot going on here. I would probably remove the island walk. It says it's designed to be a commander, so the idea is that you put a bunch of cards in your deck that can untap your creatures, which is actually kind of a cool idea. When you're designing a legendary creature, the first time its name appears in text, you put the full name. Anytime after that, you can just put the name part of the name. So the first time it should say Wham the Swimmer doesn't untap during your untap step, then it can say whenever Wham becomes untapped. Coming in at number 5, we have Tried for Treason from Zelos33333. It's 1 black at instant speed to destroy target creature, so it's murder, except it costs 1 black less to cast if it targets a creature you own. Okay, so it's Tried for Treason, clearly referencing active treason. If somebody's going to take one of your creatures, you can play it for free, which is perfectly in color pie for black. It can destroy all creatures, including its own, but it also has the ability to sacrifice creatures for benefit, so this is actually a pretty cool design. Notably, the ability doesn't say you may cast it without paying its mana cost, which means if there's a cost increasing effect on the table, you'll still have to pay whatever that is. Very cool design. Next up, we have Sunset by Fliggin, and this is a land. Taps for white. Activate this ability only if it's your turn before or during your combat. Oh, okay, so it taps for white during the daytime, the early part of your turn. It taps for red if it's after the combat phase on your turn, so it's like the sun is setting. Opponent's turns, it taps for black because it's nighttime. Pretty cool flavor design. I mean, River of Tears was kind of a cool card, but that was only 2. It only mattered whether it was your turn or not. It's both more complex to understand, and you need a deck that can use all 3 types of mana at specific times. Number 3, we have Active Reason, which is clearly, again, a reference to Active Treason. So this is green and white for an instant. Each player gains control of all creatures they own, which ends Active Treason's effect. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. You know, I'm not sure how useful that is, because generally the reason that a deck plays Active Treason is to steal one of your creatures for a turn to both have more attackers and prevent you from blocking in order to deal you a lot of combat damage. If you just fog and prevent all that combat damage, you're going to get your creature back in no time flat anyway. That said, there could be any number of other reasons. Maybe your creature has been mind controlled. Remember that these cards are being designed in a vacuum, and they could be used for anything. That's kind of what's cool about the custom Magic card community, is you can just design whatever cool cards you want to, and this is definitely an interesting design. At number 2, we have Azula Silver, designed by Artex301. This is a mutate sliver. So, for those of you who don't know, slivers are creatures that share all of their abilities with each other. You can mutate this sliver onto any of your other creatures that aren't slivers, and suddenly those abilities are shared with all of your slivers. It's gonna be a bit difficult to fully understand, but this is actually a really cool design. I love this card. Our number 1 card is Octopus Night by Temporal Fuzz. So it's a 2-2 for 1 and a white. The beginning of your upkeep, if Octopus Night has exactly 8 permanents attached to it, you win the game. So that's a really cool effect. Now, attached to it, that could be auras or equipment. Generally, you would expect an octopus to be in blue and not white, but white is going to be a much easier color to achieve attaching 8 permanents in because they use auras and equipment both pretty often. And notice there's no rarity symbol on this knight. That should be rare. Any card that wins you the game is a rare. This is a very cool design. I like building up one really powerful creature. So that said, once you have put 8 things on Octopus Night, it feels like you should have a pretty stinking strong creature that would be able to win you the game anyway, but I still like this, so well done, Temporal Fuzz. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments how you feel about these cards. We'll be back next Thursday to design some cards of our own.